Hey guys, so we're going to continue to talk about um, the annotated bibliography. I apologize if that happens like 50 times over the course of this video. My cough is really bad, as you can tell. So, we're going to talk about two things briefly. One one is losing my train of thought. One is evaluating sources, and a method, my favorite method to do that. And the other one is why we use hanging indents for formatting for the annotated bibliographies. So let's talk about that one first. I put up a page with a couple of links to some sources, some video links on how exactly to do a hanging indent, because I felt that these videos would be able to demonstrate better than I could explain on how to do a hanging indent. So, the reason why we do hanging indents for the annotated bibliography is that my cat wants you to, apparently, is to better organize and better organize and make it easier to see what summary and analysis goes with which citation. So you have your citation is also in a hanging indent, and so it's kind of shaped like that. And then the rest of your information goes under the citation like that. So it's more obvious which source goes with which explanation of the source. It makes it a very easy visual clue when you're reading someone's annotated bibliography. So, all in all, it just makes things more understandable. So that's why we use hanging indents, for better organization and better understanding of what goes where and what goes with which. So for evaluating resources, I like to use the CRAP method. A, because it's fun to say and it usually gets you guys to laugh in class. But that stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. So currency meaning the timeline of information. When was this information published or posted? Has the information been revised or updated? Is it current or out of date? Are the links functional? That's usually a good way to tell if something is out of date. If, for instance, it's a website and none of the links work. Now this only I am so sorry. This only applies to things like science or sociology, um, mathematics, things that are constantly changing and being updated. We don't mind as much for English or history, because, for instance, if you're writing a paper on Shakespeare and you have a source from the 1800s, like that's still applicable to Shakespeare. But if you're doing a topic that is constantly being researched and updated, like our good friend climate change, we want to make sure that we have the most current information possible. Relevance, the importance of the information to your needs. So, does the information relate to your topic or answer your question? Who is the intended audience? Is the information at an appropriate level? So, for instance, what that means is maybe you found a really great kids book that is explaining climate change, but it's not really relevant to your topic because you're college students writing for other college students. So that wouldn't be a very relevant resource. And then have you looked at a variety of different sources? So, not just everything from the same journal, for instance. You want a little bit of variety in your resources. Apologies. So, authority, the source of the information. Who is the author, publisher, or source, or sponsor? And that's one that is good to keep in mind. For instance, I wrote a paper at one point on Pete Buttigieg. And, if I went to his website, like his official campaign website, it would give me good information, but it's also sponsored by him. So it would give me biased information as well. And then, we talk about ethos. Is this person an expert on the subject? Are they professional and whatnot? What are their qualifications? Then accuracy. Is it factual? Is it truthful? Is it correct? So where does this information come from? Is it supported by evidence? Has it been peer-reviewed? Can you verify any of the information with other sources? So, if you find a resource that you're like, oh, that looks pretty good, but you can't find any other resources that say the exact same thing, that first resource may not be as good as you think it is. So maybe set that one aside. And then purpose, the reason this information exists. um, so, why does this article or journal or website or what have you exist in the first place? And is that purpose to be helpful? Is it to give facts and information, or is it is it biased? Is it to convince you of something? So just keeping those things in mind are very helpful for looking at your sources, and making sure that the sources that you have are ones that you can confidently use. So that is my lecture for this week. Apologies for all of that. Please let me know, as always, if you have any questions. Hope you guys have a great week, and I hope to see you next week.